Yeah, so I think we're live. Hi, everyone. And thank you for being here with me, Jonathan. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
Amazing. Let me double check everything is working on our Twitter and then we are good to go. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So before we start, as most of you know, we are sponsored, and this month we actually have a new sponsor called Whale Street, who are a DeFi engine that powers the NFT economics. They make huge currency swaps happen, or whale swaps as they're called, and with very small slippage costs and without crashing the system. They're also engineered the largest ever NFT bundle and fractionalized it into historic B20 tokens. Whale Street is all about upside, so you can dip into their liquidity pools for rich rewards. For B20, you can join their Discord channel, which we will link in the comments below, and then you can follow Whale Street on their Twitter page, which we will also link below. So let's get started. Thank you so much for being here with me. It's a great honor and a pleasure. So thanks. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Yeah, very busy day, but thank you for connecting with me finally.
Yeah, amazing. Obviously, like well, everybody knows you, but I guess I guess it'll be good to give a brief introduction to the audience, if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Jonathan Quinton from MBSJQ, which I've now made MBSJQ to make it a tiny bit easier. Just a background on the name is it's the initials of my daughter, so that there's a reason behind it. Even though it's hard to say, that's her initials are Sophia Jane Quinton. So that's the reason behind my name. Yeah, so I'm a graphic designer originally, or kind of still am, with quite a few years experience. But I've made the dive and the move into 3D about 3 years ago, because I want to just develop my skills. I went freelance 7 years ago, and you need to sort of evolve. You need to move with the times, and also just play with your own style, which I've wanted to do. And it's been really fun, and I've been very lucky on the way. So yeah.
Nice. Well, you've worked with like a lot of different clients and a lot of different studios. Like I was reading on your website, you went from like Otto to Tommy Hilfiger to Uber. Like really, the list goes on and on and on. So your experience is extensive in that sense as well, correct?
Yeah, I've been very lucky because a lot of my projects are in different sectors, and that helps me like to develop my style and to bring through what I want to achieve, which is mainly vibrant colors. I think people refer to me as using vibrant colors, and
Yeah.
sometimes with client work you have to hold back a bit, but push out the concepts. But coming into the crypto art, you can kind of be yourself,
Yeah.
and that's what I've really enjoyed over the last. I think it's around 3-4 months now. It's gone a bit crazy. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, like my next question is exactly this. So yeah, how did the crypto scene, come about for you? Like, how did it start?
I'll be honest, so I'm very lucky that a lot of clients referred, because I didn't know much about it, say August last year, and a
Yeah.
client came to me and said that this could work for you, but they also said, please make time for me if you do you get into it, which I will refer back to them one day and give them something, because when I first looked at it, I didn't know a lot about it. With many designers still don't, creators still don't, but
Yeah.
the journey's been so fast and really enjoyable. But so yeah, it's around August time a client mentioned this, and then I started looking into it, and I had a drop on Nifty. I think it was late October, and for me, I was still learning. So the things I put up, I think were really good, but they weren't really me, if that makes sense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it was amazing just to experience like people purchasing your work, wanting to collect
Yeah.
it, because it's just the feeling like you spend time on the computer, you spend time mentally as well. People don't always consider, like my family don't always see what goes on upstairs. Like it does drain you, but it's also very exciting. But for someone to actually collect it and say, I really like that, I want to put that on my wall, I want to own that, it's just amazing feeling. It really is. So that was October time, and then I jumped towards Super Rare in, I think it's November, early November, which for me has just been incredible. Really, really good, and I'm been very lucky to have loyal collectors. I think it's around 13, 14 collectors now on Super Rare, and I'm very, very, very grateful, because I think people can share the vision. I love space, and my Astro is. I don't know who Astro is. Astro could be me. It could be my daughter's vision of what's out there. It could be a combination of both. But I think what comes through Astro as a series is the fact that it's kind of a child in my mind, and I try and push that through. But I've been very lucky with the support, I will be honest to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, like I've actually never heard that a client would introduce you to the crypto art world. That's a first for me. I haven't heard that before from any artist, so that's very interesting. I mean, usually it's like the other way around, kind of escaping the client work and getting into the scene, right?
It's a very, very kind client that done that. Yeah, it's just the fact that when it first started, like I think a lot of creators don't really know how to go about it, and as we've developed within the sort of last 4 or 5 months, a lot more information is getting out. A lot of kind people are putting information out there to help people, designers and creators, and I think the community is just getting stronger and stronger. Even though it's going really, really fast, everyone's kind of sort of jumping on and helping each other and referring to links and stuff like that, which I think is really, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some really great guides as well. One of them like written by Lupify as well, on like how to approach the NFT world if you're a first starter. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. It can be very overwhelming, I think, for everyone. Like even from my perspective, initially it was very overwhelming. So it's a common thought, I think. Sorry.
But yeah, it's also, I think for creators is the excitement of, they put their heart and soul into creating something that they believe in, and if someone, because I think creators along the way through their career, even going back to school, feedback is so important, whether it's good or bad. Good feedback is amazing, but bad feedback is as important to develop.
Yeah.
And I think what creators sort of inspire towards is getting feedback, and when someone sort of believes in them, it just gives them, yes, I'm getting up earlier that day, I'm going to create something even better to try and impress the people that believe in them. So it's an amazing
100%.
opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with what you said about good feedback being amazing, but maybe bad feedback being even better, because it's a chance to be even better. So yeah, definitely. I agree. And going back to, obviously you mentioned a little bit about your like creative process, and obviously your artwork has a big theme around it. The Astro, as you mentioned, like vibrant colors and the space environment. I just wanted to ask you, like, what is your creative process in creating your artwork? Is it always the same? Does it change depending on what piece you're creating? Can you speak a little bit about that?
100%. Yeah, it can change, but the subject is always the same, because I think it's good to build an appearance or build something that people relate to. But I think when I create work, it can depend on if I've watched a film. It can depend on who I spoke to in the day, what I've seen. And I always write down my ideas. Like, well, they're not even ideas. They're just things that come up in my life. And I think, well, that could be good. Some things might not even work, but I think it's important just to write things down, because it can work. Like with my recent piece that done really well, which I'm very lucky, on Super Rare last night, the talk on Clubhouse with Elon Musk, he just inspired me. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't sleep. I listened in, and that's what helped me make that piece. It was just, it come from nowhere, but that's what I like, of the fact that you don't know what's going to come out of whatever you're experiencing, which I think is the beautiful thing. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. And obviously, you've had an amazing success in the crypto art scene. You're top artist on Super Rare in the last 40 days, so congratulations on that. That's amazing.
Very lucky.
You had the latest drop on Maker's Place. You mentioned, your drop on Nifty. You collabed with Hackatao. Like, I could go on and on and on. I think the list is very extensive. And it seems you've, in a very short period of time, you've done so many things. So what's your feelings now? Like, what are you thinking? What has been your experience so far? Like, what are your thoughts about this whole thing, basically?
But first of all, I'm very, very grateful for everyone who, like, over the years, the followers that, like, I think I've been on Instagram for sort of 7, 8 years, and there's people that followed me on day one that still comment on my work now, and I'm like loyal people, which I really, really respect. And I think that's helped me to develop my style, but also, again, going back to the feedback, is important to get feedback. Sometimes people say that this isn't kind of you. This isn't what I would expect, and that's what I was saying about good and bad feedback. From that, you learn from it and develop. But yeah, the crypto scene has just gone crazy, and I still have client work to do, which is important to me, because when you sign up to do a job, you got to put the time in for the client, because they're paying for
Of
you,
course.
and they respect you, and they want good results. But at the same time, this crypto is kind of, to be honest, it's taken over, and it's gone crazy. And I wake up now thinking, well, I don't know what I'm thinking. I wake up just looking for. I also look at what other people are doing, and I like to support them too. Like, seeing through this crypto experience, I've seen more work, if that makes sense, from different designers that I haven't seen
Yeah.
before, and from that you get inspiration too, but you also get a connection to them. You sort of ask them questions. How do you do that? And they sort of ask you. Like, it's back and forth. It's a community. Like, it really is. I really enjoy it. So,
Yeah, definitely.
but
Yeah, and actually, like, sorry, go ahead.
just for me, like, the past 3 months, it's been life changing. Like, I put it the other day on my Twitter, but it has, because the most important thing for me is to spend time with my 5-year-old daughter, and she is she's my universe. Hence Astra and the universe. But with the luck I've had through my art, like, I can spend more time with her, and she does sit next. She's got her own computer next to me here. She sits down. She says this. She goes, "I don't like that. Don't like that." She's very, and at that age, they're very, very honest, aren't they? Which I think
Yeah,
she's the
the
creative.
most honest, I think. So
Oh
you
yeah,
definitely have the best feedback there.
yeah. When you have clients, you should just have a 5-year-old in the office, because they'd be the most honest. But
Or
yes,
anywhere, really,
yeah.
in life in general.
So crypto art it's gone crazy, and I'm overwhelmed, if I'm being honest. So, and I'm feeling very lucky at the moment. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, and congratulations. Obviously, everything comes for a reason. So, it's great to see so much success. And yeah, I was particularly interested because you mentioned, like, in the space being a community, and I guess, like, so still quite tight in a way, and quite small. There is that opportunity to look at other people, and to do collaborations, but also to have, like, a very strong connections with collectors. And
So important, yeah.
like, yeah, collectors are so important. Like, the scene wouldn't exist without the collectors. And in this space particularly, you see artists being collectors, or blockchain experts being collectors, or anyone really can be a collector. What is your thoughts about the roles of collectors in this place? And are you a collector yourself?
this is the biggest thing for me, that the relationship between the collectors is just vital, because basically they're putting their it's money, but it's not just money. They're putting their trust in you. They're putting what they see. They're kind of experiencing the same thing, because otherwise they wouldn't purchase that. They wouldn't collect the piece. That they, whether it's a feeling or emotion or something that's happened, a memory in the past. But I think that's what art does. It gives a connection. And then what I found really, really vital and really important, but also really overwhelming and really good, is that I connect with collectors too. I speak to them, and they're normal, awesome people, but you kind of make friends. You're making friends, and through art, and with that connection, is just going to get stronger. I think it's so important to like, sometimes you can't get hold of the collector because you just can't, but when you can, I think I'd say to any like sort of artists that get into the space, is spend time trying to connect with the collectors, because that's the most important thing. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you collecting art yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm collecting. I tried to bid on a few things, and I've been outbid by a few whales. But as we go through the next few months now, I've got my eye on quite a few things which I want to build. And going back to that connection thing and the emotions, I've got my eye on quite a few pieces of work on Super Rare. But also, I'm going to be allocating a few pieces to my daughter as well. She's going to be picking what she likes. So
That's amazing.
if an artist out there gets a bid from me, it might not always be me. It might be my daughter.
Maybe she's gonna like more of the collectible side of the NFTs. Maybe stuff
Yes, really good. I think she will, yeah. And it'd definitely
Yeah.
be pink.
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. That's very cool. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I think like in general, the big thing about this scene is the connection, like with anything, like us speaking, whether it's, collector artist, whether it's artist to artist, anyone really, like bloggers to artists, or even, bloggers between bloggers. Like I think it's really special, the connection that you build. And everybody seems to be very open, which is something that I particularly enjoy and find great.
That's another thing. Sorry to interrupt. That's another thing for
No,
me,
go ahead.
because I've been freelance for 7 years now. I work at home, and I don't always have that connection that I used to have in an agency. And
Yeah,
I've listened to many things on blogs and chats, and I'm coming out of my comfort zone, just having interviews like this, which I would have never done if it wasn't for crypto. I'll be honest. I obviously do the Zoom calls with clients and stuff like that, but
yeah.
like I've had 2 interviews in a week now, and that's really not me. And it's like it's the discovery thing again. Like it's amazing, it really is.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And is there like, I guess anybody or more people, I guess, that have been quite influential, like within the last couple of months for you in this journey, whether it's collectors, whether it's artists, or both. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, Fat Render's up there with, like, in terms of like the making the top is just very, very creative. But and Peter Tacker, he's been up there for me in terms of his lighting and style. I've connected with him just because I like the simplicity and colours used. But yeah, there's always things popping up on my feed that, and if I do like them, I tell the artist that as well, because I think, again, going back to feedback, it's very important to give your feedback from another creator, because sometimes what I've noticed on social media as well, because things move so fast, people might not even see your work. So if you don't connect with them, especially how things are changing, like with Instagram and stuff like that, which let's not get into. Things change so fast, they might not have even seen what you've been doing. So when you connect with them, then they go onto your profile and say, oh yeah, I haven't seen this. So I think that, again, it's going back to community and connections. So
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And there's so many things that happen in like the space of an
yeah.
hour that it's so crazy to keep up with everything. So yeah, I completely agree. For me, it's very hard as well. And I wanted to get your thoughts on, I think it's like a topic that has been discussed quite a lot within the scene, which is like scarcity versus abundance.
Yeah.
What what are your thoughts about that? Like what do you what is your opinion maybe about it?
I totally understand the debate, and for me, I've done sort of everyday's works, a bit like a lot of other artists, especially
Yeah,
the big ones, as you know. Um, but I've done everydays to develop my style. So when I come up with something, I think it's been a consistency thing for me to put something up, to get feedback, to move on to the next, and then kind of build. I'm trying to build a trial again, going back to my daughter, trying to build a trial that when she grows up, she'll be able to see the progress. And when Cryptoart came along, I kind of I thought I was late to the scene. I'll be honest, I honestly
mm,
did. I spoke to a few people, and they're like, no, John, no, you're not kind of late. We're going in at kind of a cool time, which I think now I am lucky. I've got in at a good time. Um,
yeah,
so, but even though I had that feedback, I went into it wanting to sort of again show people what I can do, or what I believe in, or what I can sort of create. And with me, I sort of have my everyday head on, which I shouldn't. As I'm learning now, I'm drawing back a bit,
yeah,
but I've been very lucky to have collectors that can see maybe the way I work through the years on Instagram and the way I produce work. They can sort of see that through the crypto side, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's making
yeah,
sense.
it is, So do you have collectors that you've kind of brought into the scene that okay,
Well, people have commented, and then they say, "Oh, they've sort of said, collectors said, I've seen your work over there." But the thing is, for me, where um, I'm quite an impatient person in terms of when I'm designing. So if I get it's quite a negative, which I get feedback on, but I sort of get an idea and then I get another idea, and I need to sort of home in on stick to an idea. Um,
yeah,
and I'm starting to learn that now, and I'm starting to
yeah,
work on that. I don't know if other creators experience that too, but if you see something, you're like, oh yeah, that could work, that could work, that could work. But yeah, you could have 5 or 6 things working, but just choose one of them,
yeah,
concentrate on it, put all your effort into it, and then make it as good as you can. So I'm starting to go down that route now. But when I come into the crypto art world, I kind of was so excited. I just wanted to show people what I could do. So, and I've been lucky that people have appreciated it. So,
yeah, definitely. And do you have do you have any drops that are coming up that you want to share?
I've got I've got a nifty drop in April. I think it's April the 12th. So I'm going to get client work out of the way first, which is all the best way to do it. But
Yeah.
I've already started working on ideas for that. I'm actually a twin, and my twin does sort of video and editing and After Effects and stuff. So I'm already throwing in
Ah,
my
no
ideas.
way.
Yeah, I'm throwing in my ideas to make me the best trailer he's ever made. So it's going to be really,
That's
really cool.
amazing.
Yeah, and he was here today actually, because he's been in editing and video, but he's now look. I've been trying to sort of push him towards 3D as well, and he's sort of starting that journey. So what he's doing now is what I was doing 3 years ago with 3D, and it's exciting because he's got idea. He's kind of, I was a twin, kind of doing the same thing, but he's at the start of his journey. But the good thing for him is that we can work together, which is important. And then
Yeah, definitely.
my daughter can sort of say, "Oh, Uncle did that." So Yeah.
What is something that you're most looking forward to when it comes to like the crypto art scene? Like, is there something that maybe you think I would love to see more of this in the scene, potentially even coming from like client side or the real world. Let's put it that way.
One of the most important things, or things that I'm excited about, as I think everyone would probably be, is if there's going to be like an exhibition or somewhere where people can actually get. I know people do it online, but I think it's a bit different. If you can actually get together and put faces to names and talk to people, I think something like that. I think it's going to come big, and when everything's over, I think.
Yeah.
I also think brands and products and stuff are going to come into play too. But for now, I think artists have been given like their perfect free reign. You go and do what you want, do what you've always wanted to do. And I think that's at this stage, the next few months, I think that's what artists should do, is just create what they've always wanted to do. So
Yeah, definitely. From like coming from like a client perspective, like is the crypto art like how do they perceive it, I guess? Like how is it still, well, obviously you said that somebody recommended it to you, so I guess they know about it, and yeah, what are their thoughts on it?
yeah, that's another good thing, because I've been just referring back to the collector. I've been uploading my portfolio work to Behance for years, and the founder of Behance bought one of my pieces. I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and for me that was just like mind blowing, because all the years and all the creators that put up there, the founder, like, because I've got a connection with Behance, and I didn't even know who I had the connection with, but now I do. And to talk to the person who bought the founder of Behance and bought my art, it's crazy. And I think this is what I mean about relationships and people connecting. Like, I wouldn't have done this. Like, if I know crypto's been going for a few years, but I've not even known about it. So anything I can share online, socially, or to talk to friends or pass on, I try to, because to experience what I'm experiencing is what I think they should be experiencing. So
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I guess like part of the beauty of the scene is that anybody can start, like whether it's and we can see it in whoever is coming in, from really young artists to people who have just started to artists who have been like doing, like yourself, client work or exhibitions or other forms of for artwork forever. So that's really special, I guess.
and that's the other important thing, is that I think there's always something out there. There's always something out there for someone. Like, everyone's got different tastes, and no matter how good a piece is or how long someone spent on it, if they're not into it, they're not into it. And going through the creative world with all my years' experience, I've learned to understand that, the fact that not everyone's going to like your work, or not everyone's going to like that, but they might like aspects of it, but then they might refer to someone that does connect with them. It's about connection again, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. And one last question, like, what are your thoughts on collectibles? Are there any collectibles that you particularly like, or you have your eye on?
Well, this is the thing, that because things have been moving so fast the last few weeks, I haven't had time to put in put in effort into see. I've seen lots of trees going around, which I want to get hold of. I've seen a lot of little animals going around that my daughter will want to get hold of. So I think collectibles is going to be a huge part in coming play, but also, as you've seen on the scene lately, that creators can put their own spin on those collectibles as well, which I think, so collectibles is a collectible, but I think you've also got that artistic creative side that you can put into them and build a cool collection. And I think people respect that, because referring back to sort of gaming and collectibles and stuff like that, people want, like, they want, what have they got, what can they share? And I think that's going to be quite huge, actually.
Yeah, completely agree. And they're especially in this space, like considering, you know, the gaming part, as you said, it's a big thing. The collectibles, like the gamification behind all of these collectibles is definitely important. So I'm looking forward to seeing what your daughter chooses.
You're gonna them even what she might create yet. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for the chat, and congratulations again for everything you've achieved. It's amazing,
Thank you.
and I hope to speak to you soon again.
We're connecting a few months and see how we're getting on. Yeah.
Amazing. Have a good one.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.